I'm looking forward to you having fun with this particular podcast episode. We're going to listen to children and young adults yet again as they have a chance to talk about why language and culture is so important to their identity and to their joy and to their relationships and their families and their communities and beyond. These are young people's voices interspersed with their festival presentations from the Mother Language Day festivities at Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, February 2023, sponsored by the International Heritage Language Association. You heard in episode 95, I hope, the voice of Antonella Cortese, a member of the board of the International Heritage Language Association and herself a director of a Heritage Language School of Italian, and one of the coordinators of the Mother Language Day. You heard in episode 96 a selection of a couple of the young adults that I wanted you to hear specifically because of the way that young people are able to articulate what language does for them. It strips away all of the, adult sometimes detail and confusion that might come around languages, especially when we consider it just part of the curriculum and part of an educational process that often, unfortunately, can be taken away with budget cuts or difficulties in finding staffing. When we hear the role that language and culture plays in the lives of young people who are beginning their journey into their adulthood, that's where it hits strongly. I ask you to go back, if you have not had a chance to listen to some of the podcasts that have brought these themes forward, by all means, please listen to many, but especially to the Heritage Language Month and episodes 60 to 63 with panelists from all over the world and my co-host, Joy Payton. Listen to Joy Payton's own podcast, number 81, Celia Zamora, the Certification and Professional Development Leader for the National Organization ACTFL, episode 70. Agnes Tunkara, who was able to provide such a moving experience of listening to those who have in the past French colonial history and bringing their multiplicity of languages when they entered the United States. Listen to Amanda Seawald in episode 88 and the advocacy needed for language studies. Especially listen to understand the impact that language and cultural studies have on the very nature of the achievement of young people, of their skill sets, of what they're able to do, the impact they're able to have, what they're able to earn, how they're able to succeed when otherwise they might fail because of some other aspects of their background. Proven research by listening to episode 84 with Virginia Collier and Wayne Thomas. Their research proves the importance of what these young people, these children and young adults that you'll hear today know by experience. Language is life. Culture is the way we live together. And sharing those cultures helps us to see that all human beings enjoy their identity and enjoy sharing their identity, and that can happen in peace. That can happen in joy. In my own episode 67, which I recorded after a series of horrifying tragedies of mass shootings, I pointed out that language and understanding how language and culture works down deep, experientially, can help to alleviate fear. Because fear leads to hate. Hate can lead to violence. Language and culture can help to calm those waters, can help to open those hearts. So, today, enjoy these children and young adults. Enjoy the sound of their festivities. Celebrate with them. But also I invite you to think about how we're going to learn more about making sure that these are not just little slots and stars, places here and there, but an everyday part of our youth's lives so that our world can be a world of hope for the future. Enjoy the podcast. What's your name, may I ask?
Ava Rachopo.
Do you have a favorite letter sound so far?
Yeah.
What's your favorite letter sound so far?
That what I do in kinder.
So we're here for celebrating all mother languages here, and I'm a part of Nepali language Gurukul, and I'm volunteered there. I volunteer as a dance teacher plus other thing there. We showed our dance there today, and it's all about like how you feel when you remember all those childhood memory being home. Yeah.
The dances were absolutely beautiful. Were you one of the dancers? Tell me about your experience of dancing.
It was a great experience. I enjoyed performing for you guys today, and I thought it was just a wonderful experience in general.
How about that school? Tell me about your experience at the school. How long have you been going to the Heritage School?
I've been going for a few months now, and I really love it. I'm learning so much, and it has given me so much inspiration to learn more about my country.
It's a few months for this session. It's session-wise, and we had online classes for COVID period. So it's back to class. It's a resume, and it's very exciting.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And would you invite other young people to learn the language?
Yes, I would. It's an amazing language, and I think it's just amazing language.
Do you think that it will help you in the future, knowing not only the English that you speak, but also the heritage languages that you have?
Absolutely. It would be a great way to help connect with our grandparents who maybe don't know English, and just in general teach younger students too. And yeah, it would help definitely.
From the Czech Heritage Language Society of Edmonton, but we call ourselves a Czech school. I'm one of the teachers, so my name's Naomi Jahličková, and there's 3 teachers in the Czech school, and I'm one of them.
So tell me about what it is that has happened when the school was established, how many young adults you work with, or age group, and what are you especially proud of?
So the Czech school started interestingly. It was a lot of young moms. Most of us came directly from Czech Republic. I say most of us because I did not, but a lot of us were direct immigrants here in Edmonton, didn't have family, and were worried about their kids growing up and not speaking a Czech language. And Czech is one of those cultures where you don't always have that community. When you leave Czech, it's hard to find other Czechs. It's a very small country, not a lot of people. And so we were all shocked that there were so many young Czechs with young families in Edmonton. So I think this is around 2018 when we had our first little meeting. But the school itself, I believe, was established in 2019. And then throughout the pandemic, we were able to follow the rules of schools. So we were able to meet in person. Sometimes, other times we weren't, depending on, what was going on in the world. But we had Zoom classes, and then over the years, we forged really good friendships. I would say what we are the most proud of is that we have around anywhere between 10 to 15 kids. We have every year we're growing. So we started off with 2 age groups. Now we have 3 age groups, so 3 to 4. And then we have kindergartens, and then we have young elementary. This year we introduced another group, and that is advanced speakers. So there's kids who speak very well Czech. And we're always growing. And then we're adding on to every year looks a little different. So first year it was just lessons, and then we had cultural celebrations, and then we had a Czech camp, and we started working with other groups in Edmonton. So we're getting more integrated into the community, and we're learning that there is actually a thriving Czech community, which is neat. So
Sounds like you've uncovered heritage understanding where it might not have been pursued.
Yep, definitely for me too, because like I said, I'm from Ontario. My parents were Czech, so moving here, I didn't know anyone. And it was really nice, not just to hear the language, but help me not feel as homesick while I'm here. And I would say that through this activities and through working with these people and meeting new people and meeting new Czechs, it supplemented my family. So I don't feel as unrooted because I have my roots here, which is good.
What kind of role do heritage, language, and culture schools play in Canadian society in general, do you think?
I would say, reflecting on my upbringing, so I grew up in Ontario on a small family farm in a predominantly English-speaking area. There wasn't a lot of multicultural, groups in Dundalk, Ontario, which is where I came from. And so we and I speak with myself and my siblings often felt a little different because we had different lunches, we spoke different languages, and it was hard to integrate into the greater fabric to the point where we maybe weren't as proud as we were of our culture. One thing I really want my daughter, and I think what a lot of parents want their kids who attend these schools, is to not feel so alone in it, because you're living one foot in Canadian culture, where at school there's different norms and values and ways of speaking, and what's cool here maybe isn't what's cool in Czech. And then in Czech, it's also a whole other thing, and you're kind of straddling both worlds, not really sure where your place is in it, and then you're going through all the regular stuff you do as a kid and a teenager. And I'm glad that my daughter knows a whole whack of other kids who are kind of in that same boat, who are living in the two worlds. And I think that's something that a lot of families, one of the reasons why families would bring their kids into that setting. Also as well, just because we don't live in Czech, we have a lot of family there. So my partner, his mother doesn't speak a lick of English. My grandma doesn't speak a lick of English. So when we go there, it's nice that they understand the language and they understand the songs, and they're able to interact with the grandparents. And I think that's another reason why. Yeah. And they can still have some relationship with them, even though they don't speak English.
You just made an interesting statement about Canada. Go for it.
I like that Canada now and then is a bilingual blanket because every part of the blanket has one culture, and we can be Canadian, but we can also follow our cultures and religions.
Parrott, and I'm the principal of the Ukrainian language classes for adults. We're the only adult school in Ila, and this year we have 47 had registered in our school, and they come from all over Edmonton and surrounding communities. And we have a display, and we were just talking about the bread that is in the center of the display, which is a kolach. It's a braided bread. Kola is circle, and this bread is in the shape of a circle, a braided circle, representing never-ending life. And Ukrainians have a ritual bread for every occasion. Any weddings, there's a ritual bread, greeting people, Easter, Christmas. There are all ritual breads because Ukraine is an agrarian society. It strikes me very interestingly that Alberta and, well, Canada, we respect peoples from all over the world. Canada had indigenous people, and all of us came from all over the world and into the fifth generation now or whatever. But the richness of bringing all these heritages together makes for a vibrant, interesting society. And because Canada is so immense, we have a lot of room for more immigration. And immigrants, people who come to this country, bring with them their language, their culture. They open up restaurants. It just enriches our society.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
My name is Bethlehem Tekle-Georgis, and I am the principal of Eritrean Community Tigrinya School. And we're here today to present our school.
And help me to understand the role the school plays in your life as an adult and as a parent.
Oh, it has a very big role because I have 3 kids, and 2 of them were born back home, but 1 is here. And when they came here, they have some conflict with the country, and then with their self, because they're new, they don't know anybody, and then that's why I start to work here in the school. I was a teacher back home, and then I start to teach, and I start to bring my kids to school. And when they come to this school, they start to see that there are other people who look like them, who can speak this language, and then they start to feel confident. Oh, I belong somewhere. So that's why I start to continue. I try to make them volunteer with me, and then before they don't even want to speak the language at school or anywhere, but after that they start to communicate with me. They start to speak in my language at their school, everywhere in the public. And yeah, it has a big role for me.
You brought up the idea of language as belonging, making sure they belong to something that feels and reminds them of themselves. How does that affect the way that they feel that they belong then to the larger Canadian community in which they live?
Before they were in between, I can say when they come here, they were in a very different culture and background, and they're here, and then everything is different, right? But now they're like half Eritrean, half Canadian. They belong here because they're here for a long time of their lives, and then so they belong everywhere now, I can say. They're to their culture and Canadian culture too.
So the Eritrean culture and the Canadian cultures complement each other. Would you say that they are that it is they can live in both with comfort?
Yes, now they can live in both with comfort because they were here. One of them were only 10 years and the other one was only 6 years old. Now they're comfortable with both language, with both cultures and traditions, I can say.
As a parent, what can you say to those listeners who are parents, guardians, grandparents about having the young adult in your life in such a school? Should they consider that for their own children and grandchildren?
Oh yeah, I would say it's very, very important for them to know their background, to know their culture, and to be confident on themselves, on who they are. They have their own culture, background, and everything. When they come here, they feel they're lost. When we see them, they were lost when we hear because they don't speak the language and everything. So it is very important for the kids to learn the language and the culture because it makes them confident and it helps them. It helps them very much. So I suggest parents to teach their language.
What are you especially proud of today among the various things that happened at the demonstrations and the festivity here today?
Oh, it's very nice to see everybody coming together and presenting. And when you see everybody's face, they try to explain what is it there, what is it represent for and everything. So it's very good, yeah.
Thank you so much.
हिंदी को इंडो यूरोपीय भाषा परिवार का हिस्सा माना जाता है और यह अरबी, फारसी, तुर्की, पुर्तगाली और अंग्रेजी जैसे भाषाओं से भी प्रभावित है। आज अंतर्राष्ट्रीय मातृभाषा दिवस के अवसर पर अल्बर्टा हिंदी स्कूल की ओर से हमारे छात्र हिंदी भाषा का क्रमिक विकास कैसे हुआ इस बारे में एक लघु नाटिका प्रस्तुत करने वाले हैं। स्वागत करते हैं हमारे प्यारे छात्रों का और जानेंगे भारत में प्राचीन काल से लेके भविष्य तक विरासत भाषाओं की भूमिका। स्वागत करते हैं।
You to introduce yourself, your name, and what particular cultural group you're with.
My name is Mikhaila. I am from Ukraine, from the capital city, Kiev, and I came to Canada 11 months ago. The school in Canada are totally different than in Ukraine. I'm studying now in Canada in school Austin O'Brien, and that's pretty interesting, but totally different, and so sometimes it can be hard for me. And I like this city because there is a lot of interesting places, and I like to find more information about culture of other countries. And Canada really super bilingual country, and a lot of different cultures here. From all world.
I have to ask: was the conflict, the war, the rationale for you being here 11 months ago?
Actually, that was a problem of my mom because she was super scared about this situation, and I wanted to stay in Ukraine with my friends, but she was too scared for that, so I came to Canada with her because here is her sister. She lives here like 22 years.
So you have someone that's in the Canadian experience here in the family. You've come today to this Heritage Festival, and what role did you play here, and what do you think that you might do, if anything, ongoing with this Heritage Language and Culture group?
I'm here to show the Ukrainian culture for other people and show how kindful we are, because Ukraine is a very beautiful country and we want to be friends with others.
What kind of difference do you think heritage schools play for especially young adults?
They making a lot of help to save the nationality and history of the culture of different countries and people from Ukraine and other countries on this heritage festival shown their cultures, and the schools from there are help them to know their history.
What do you think will be the impact on your life now that you are in Canada but connected to the Ukrainian community here?
The Canadian community, how I said before, very bilingual, so there is not a really big problem. I know a lot of people from Ukraine here, so I'm not feeling lonely.
My name is Josephine Pallard. I am one of the last members of the founding group. The rest are all gone.
Thank you for founding it. When you watch today, when you listen today, what does it tell you? What do you think?
The first reason why we started Heritage Language back in 1977 was because we wanted our children to be able to connect with their grandparents back home in our language. And then it evolved into something that's not just talking to grandma, but it's now a heritage being really accepted by our younger generation. And I really love that because that was just our goal at that time. And now look at what happened. And I just received a note from my daughter that Vancouver, British Columbia, the Department of Education has proclaimed Filipino language to be part of their curriculum. So that was something else. Yes.
Wonderful.
Yes.
What kind of strengthening do you see for Canada, for Alberta, by this heritage language work?
That is one of the goals, to be able to combat racism. Because if people will try to understand who you are, not just color, when they say you are black, you're white, you're yellow, that's not true. But when they hear that we have our own heritage, just like the North American heritage or the European, they would say, oh, they're human beings like us. So I think letting them know that language is able to make them really advocates of what you call inclusivity.
Thank you very much.
Most welcome, Norah, and it was a beautiful speech I've given, The Voice.
Thank you for listening to this podcast today, and I hope you will check out some of those podcasts that I mentioned in the introduction. I also hope that you will take a look on my website, fluency.consulting, to see the podcasts that are available, to access the transcripts, and access the information resources and links that have been provided by all of my guests. These tools for you, for your organization, for your school, for your business, for your life, are all made available to you because it's important to me that you and I live in a world of peace based on what we know is the key to human joy: language and culture. Until the next time.